to share a moment of my times with Kevin. I enjoyed being with Kevin in our Nicholsville trip. Every year I felt like I was taking a vacation with my pastor, and it was such a blessing to see him working with others, and especially when Corey went along, which was most of the time. Corey was always there, and he and Corey were always a buddy on that mission trip, and it was just a joy. There have been several years when he didn't show up till the last minute, but he was always there to guide us along and to be with us and work as a team member with us. Such a blessing.
The first memories I have of you all were when you first came here. I think it was probably after the trial sermon. We met down in the basement of the old fellowship hall, and it was just you and Brenda and Caitlin. She was a toddler. And a lot has happened since then, and I appreciate all you've done. You've always been there with me and my family. I appreciate Brenda discovering that we had handbells, and she revived the handbell choir. And I just, when we called you all, we got a 2-for-1 deal. Thank you for all you've done.
One of my favorite memories is about choir. Brenda and Kevin were both in the choir, and not only were they both very talented in singing, but Kevin and Mike Alsop were often the comic relief. So Corinne would be working so hard and be so focused and trying to get us to do our very best. And one of them would say something that would get everybody giggling. But it was such a wonderful, warm fellowship, and I've enjoyed that terribly.
I would like to say thank you to Pastor Kevin for the time that he just really ministered to my husband and myself while my husband was going through cancer. That was a very special blessing. Also helping me with the widow's ministry. I just want to say very deeply in my heart, thank you.
My family started coming to Salem along about the same time that Kevin came to begin his tenure. And I echo what Linda said about his working. I've seen him dressed in his suit to preach, but on mission trips he wore his work clothes and was down with everybody. He also helped us out in the kitchen from time to time, and we ladies appreciate that.
Yes, Kevin, I remember you married Sandy and Jeff. You married them before you were actually started to preach here. You had been hired, but you hadn't started yet. And that was 32 years ago, and they're still together. and I know you might remember the Sunday that my husband, Penny, and Don and I were singing. And Penny's phone rung right in the middle of it. Everybody just went berserk. He couldn't get it turned off, and the phone kept ringing, and we kept singing. So thank you for putting up with all of that. We love you.
Thank my God upon every remembrance of you, Kevin, for the funerals that you have been a part of, and for the ladies that have pitched in and helped with the food for the families that were going through some rough times. And I just appreciate your service for our Lord. Thank you so much for what you've done.
Kevin, I'm one of the old women of the church. I was here when you first came, and I hope that I'll still be here the day that you leave. It's sorry to see you, but I do see that you'll be leaving, but I know it comes a time that people have to do something different. And I have been so comfortable with you. You are a pastor, a minister, but I feel comfortable with you. I could talk to you about anything that I had on my mind, whether it was good or bad, and you were always willing to listen and be helpful for anything that I talked to you about, and I wish you well.
Kevin, you've been a blessing to me, and you've been a friend that I could easily talk to when things were hard for me. So I greatly appreciate it, and you being with my family and always being a friend here and everything. I've never had a pastor like that, so you will be greatly missed.
Kevin and Brenda, we appreciate all that you have done for us, and can remember when Alan was on the pulpit committee to bring you here. The pulpit committee met over at, I forgot the name of the place, but anyway, we met over near Ruth again and had lunch with you and Brenda and Caitlin. And I can remember that the server spilled tea on Brenda and Caitlin, but she took it well. So we do appreciate everything and we'll greatly miss you.
Kevin, I was just thinking about, I feel like you've set a tone for the church of just grace and acceptance and just a comfort where I think all of us feel that we are able to grow. And thank you very much.
Godspeed as you travel on.
Oh, you are perfect.